Hey everyone, and Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a wonderful day however you're choosing to spend it, and it seems Games Workshop is keen to add a little bit of festive joy once again on Christmas Day with some new Dark Angels reveals. And in this video I just want to take us through the announcement very quickly. I realise you've got probably a lot of things going on right now, and share a few of my first impressions and maybe talk about a possible release date. So without further ado, let's jump right in. There's this great video straight off the bat that covers some of the reveals we already know about, the new Asmodai and the Deathwing Knights, but also shows off some other reveals, some of which we kind of expected to see. And leading the pack is a brand new Master of the Deathwing, Belial. And I really like this model, first and foremost because it scales him up a little bit better compared to the new Terminators. Some people have said that they prefer the older Belial model, and it is a classic, it is great, but compared to the new stature and bulk of the new Terminators, I think he needed an update. I'm sure you can kit bash and convert this new model to kind of meet this older standard if you wanted to, but personally, I think this is a really nice upgrade. It adds a lot of weight and bulk, as I said, to the model. It has a lot of that gothic Dark Angels iconography that we're pretty used to these days, it seems, and it just screams repentance, which is what Dark Angels characters are all about at the end of the day. You do get a number of different upgrade sprues, or options I should say, including a uncowled version of the head. Personally, I'm going to try and put a helmet on him if I can, just because I tend to not like my characters not wearing helmets. It seems personally a bit crazy to go out into the 41st millennium without a helmet on, but that's just personal taste. But otherwise, the model itself looks absolutely fantastic, sort of straight off the sprue, if I can say that. But next we get a unit that has been speculated about for some time, the Inner Circle Companions. And I think Valrak has probably been leading the charge talking about the rumours behind this particular unit. But while I'm no expert on Dark Angels lore, my understanding is that these are the circle within the circle within the circle. They are at the heart of decision making within the Dark Angels chapter, and I absolutely love this unit for three particular reasons. One, great swords are an absolute win for me. I think the more the better. They remind me a lot of Sword Brethren, and for the reasons that I love Sword Brethren within Black Templars, I'm really liking this unit. Anything that goes in up close with a massive sword and beats the enemy over the head, definitely want that in my army. Secondly, the fact that they exist suggests that we might be pulling back some of the mystery behind the Dark Angels chapter, maybe in the Codex or maybe in future supplements, and that's kind of exciting. We don't want all of the secrets of the Dark Angels to be revealed, certainly, but at the same time, I'm really keen to understand how decisions are being made within the Dark Angels chapter, what decisions are being made, what is Lionel Johnson's role kind of behind the scenes, as it were. And I think having this unit on the tabletop suggests that we might be starting to do that in some way, so that's quite exciting. And finally, the kit bashing opportunities are absolutely incredible. This unit, just straight out of the pack, has so much implied narrative behind it, all these cool little icons and accompaniments, and just the way that they're dressed and everything they're wielding and holding. There's so much that kind of is in the narrative behind these models, and I talk about this quite a lot when I look at model showcases, but at the same time there's so much we can take out of this unit and put into other models, whether it's Sword Brethren or something else altogether. So I think this is going to be a really versatile unit for people who are not only playing Dark Angels but also who want to kind of create their own look and feel to different armies and chapters. So yeah, I think that's a definite win for all of us Space Marine fans. In third, we get a Dark Angels Upgrade Sprue, and I'm on the fence sometimes with these sprues because it can feel like it's an unnecessary extra cost when they could put some of these into their own standalone boxes, but you can see that there are plenty of upgrades here for a mix of Dark Angels units, whether they're Deathwing or sort of standard veterans, intercessors, things like that. Outriders as well, they've got a few upgrades for those. And I do think there is value here at the end of the day, but for some people it might feel like it's an unnecessary extra cost, and I just wish that sometimes they break these down into smaller boxes, like maybe just a Deathwing upgrade sprue, so that people didn't have to spend so much money on things that sometimes they don't really need or want to use. So yeah, people's opinions might vary, but I think it's a really nice set of upgrades. But again, yeah, wish they'd probably broken these down a little bit, because I certainly will want the Deathwing ones. I don't really need Outriders or extra Intercessor heads because they're not going to be part of my army, but I would definitely be wanting that Plasma Cannon, 100%. And of course, the last reveal is the Deathwing Assault box, which is the box I've personally been waiting for. I've wanted to do a Deathwing army for years, quite frankly, and the release of the new Terminator with Leviathan was basically my chance to jump in with a new Terminator range and build that Deathwing army of my dreams. And Games Workshop decided to package it all into a box for me, so I will definitely be getting this one. In there you get 10 Deathwing Terminators, some upgrade sprues, the Deathwing Knights, you get Belial, as you can see, and you get a limited edition codex with some transfers and then the individual data sheet cards. I'm quite interested in the fact that they're putting the data sheet cards in separately, because I would imagine that Dark Angels would have their own upgrade card set coming out to replace the old index cards, but I'm not entirely sure. I hope that those are not restricted to this particular set, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I think this is going to be a highly in-demand set. I will certainly be jumping on this, and it's going to be great, I think, to see the tabletops of the 41st Millennium filled with Deathwing Terminators for about 2 months while we all jump on board and scratch that Deathwing itch. But yeah, definitely something I've wanted to get, and no doubt many people are going to be wanting to grab this as well, because it's going to be probably great value at around £140, $200, like a lot of the sets seem to be these days. In terms of release date, they say that news will be coming soon, and I suspect that will be pre-orders in sort of the second, third week of January, probably coming out at the very end of January or beginning of February, getting it out of the way probably in time for the old world to come out. So that's my suspicion, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, what do you make of these Christmas Day reveals? Will you be jumping on the Deathwing Assault box like me, or do you have any other plans for a Dark Angels army? Let me know in the comment section below. And what are your expectations for releases for the other Space Marine chapters that we haven't seen yet? Do you think they'll be as extensive as we've seen here, or perhaps a little bit more targeted? Let me know in the comment section. But as always, a huge thank you for joining me today. Merry Christmas, however you're spending the days coming up. I do hope you have a wonderful time, and I do hope to see you in my next video. But until then, take care.